Thiersch, Jefferson County. Speaking of Commissioner Austin, not pick on Mr. Austin. Last week, unfortunately, for the first time in a long time, the cameras weren't rolling. Later on in the morning, when it was my misfortune to witness something that I'd never before seen in these chambers, which was an hour and 25-minute long sales pitch from one particular private interest organization. I've never seen this commission grant so much time to any particular issue other than the SMP and those kinds of far more significant issues that are actually going to be the subject of a public hearing. The discussion last week, the sales pitch, was of course, the subject was the horse park, and complete with all sorts of theatrics, and crying women and little kids. And it was just an unbelievable display. And like I say, it's unfortunate that the cameras weren't rolling, because I really would wish the public had seen that thing. The problem that I have with what was done there is that it was one-sided. And here we are, you commissioners are obviously bound and determined to give away access to this particular $500,000 asset of Jefferson County, and yet you're doing so without any financial analysis of the potential value of the return from that asset. Mr. Austin, the reason I mentioned your name at the beginning of this is that you misrepresented my statements during that presentation when you asked a question. I never said that I expected $5,000 each and every year from that parcel. I did say that the value of the county of that the value to the county of that parcel is at a minimum $5,000 per year on the long-term average. So let's just set the record straight on that. Now, the things you didn't hear, because this was a one-sided sales pitch last week, were that here you are granting access, restricted access, to a county asset, setting it up as a county park, and yet you're giving a private interest group the right to set aside portions of that property for their own personal use at any time without any particular notice requirements. Yes, there are limits in the agreement that allow them to reserve the parcel, the entire thing, only 24 times a year, only. Seems a lot. But, other parts of it can be just set aside at their whim. It's, this a public park, but I don't know of any other public park other than Memorial Field, which is treated that way. So, you're really giving special treatment to a population that represents less than 1% of the people in the county. It's a very specialized special interest group. Who else didn't you hear from last week? You didn't hear from Gene Baldwin, as opposed to the thing. You didn't hear much about solid waste. Because guess what? You're going to have to deal with a septage from your UGA sewer. And guess where that's not going to be processed anymore? There's another cost coming up.
Anybody else?